The introduction of physical education for women and the corresponding development of sportswear were important factors in the abandonment of corsetry and other restrictive clothing. Private women's colleges, such as Mount Holyoke and Smith, were at the leading edge of the development of clothing styles for female athletes. The sport of basketball was invented in 1891 by James Naismith for the YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the next year it was introduced for women at Smith College by Senda Berenson. The sport was intended to be played in a gymnasium and was thus a perfect sport for physical education. By the 1890s, women's gym suits generally included a top of navy wool that buttoned to the waist of the matching bloomers. Starting around 1910, in place of the matching top, women adopted the midi blouse. These untucked blouses created the straight, waistless silhouette that would come to dominate women's fashions through the 1920s. This photograph shows girls from Sutton High School in Braxton County, West Virginia, in 1914. Included in the photo is Geordie Adams, who was the owner of this uniform. The skirt might have been worn as a cover-up over the bloomers or in their place for outdoor sports such as tennis and field hockey. While young women could wear bloomers for sports played in a gymnasium, skirts were deemed appropriate when the sports were played outdoors, in public. The development of the modern Olympic Games was evidence of the rising popularity of athletic competition. Women first competed in the 1900 Summer Olympics, and by 1912 they could compete in swimming. American women did not compete in the swimming events until 1920 because of the impropriety of appearing in the requisite revealing costumes. For competitive swimming, the cumbersome bathing suits that were fashionable at the time were completely impractical. In their place, women adopted closer-fitting wool knit unitards. The most competitive athletes wore just the unitards, but for most women, these suits were worn with an overskirt. Women's sportswear often drew inspiration from nautical styles. The midi blouses worn as a part of gym suits were virtually identical to those worn by sailors in the Navy. The influence of nautical styles could also be seen in color choices. The vast majority of bathing suits at this period were black or navy with white trim. Elements such as sailor collars became popular not just for athletic wear, but in a variety of fashionable dresses and blouses. To achieve the slim columnar styles fashionable between 1910 and 1914, women wore corsets that extended well down the thighs. An ad for American Lady Corsets in 1913 promised that their product would ensure the smart, low bust, the long, straight hip, the modish, uncorseted effect. The emerging interest in exercise accompanied an evolution in attitudes towards the body, particularly in the body's relationship with clothing. Rather than imposing structure on the body through corsetry, women began to shape their bodies through exercise. The war itself was one factor that contributed to the decline in corset use. Once the United States entered the war in the spring of 1917, the War Industries Board called upon women to give up purchasing new corsets so that steel could be used in the war effort. The continued advertisement of corsets throughout the war indicates that sales of corsets may have been reduced but did not completely stop. Shortages and high prices for steel encouraged the gradual replacement of heavy steel boning with elastic panels. The corsets of the early 1920s were neither as long nor as stiff as their predecessors. By the early 1920s, the fashionable silhouette had broadened and clothing was sized to fit more loosely. Many young women had abandoned corsets altogether, and those who continued to wear them sought to maintain a smooth, tubular shape rather than to cinch in the waist.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun.